There are sensationalistic descriptions that we need to get straight about because they're dangerous. Sensationalistic descriptions that come from the Elon Musk class. What is the Elon Musk class? They are roughly religious fanatics and science fiction fanatics, which is just religion for unimaginative people. Science fiction is religion for people that are condescending about religion and yet not imaginative enough for philosophy. Because compared to philosophy, science fiction is like nursery rhymes. There is a lot of talk, dangerous talk, from people like Elon Musk and Jeffrey Hinton and Nick Bostrom. Scary talk. Talk that's really unbecoming. It's talk that is old. Historically, it has a name we call millenarianism. It might be millenairism, but it could be millionairism. It could be trillionairism. It's very hard to get across for several reasons. I mean, one of the reasons it's not entertaining. The real truth of the matter is not entertaining at all. It's boring. Because it's much more interesting to think about apocalyptic millenarianism. I should look it up. Why should I waste your time right now? That's the mistake. That's the mistake you're making. There's no waste of time. It's called patience. It's also called thinking. You have to think the thought. Millenarianism. The belief held by a religious, social, or political group that the current corrupt world order will soon come to an abrupt, catastrophic end, ushering in a utopian era of peace, justice, and prosperity. Well, we tend to think that, regardless of the moral valence, it's the millenarianism that counts, because if you get as much as the millenarianism, then half of your millenarianists are going to do it the dark way. Or more. I don't know. Maybe millenarianism is only for those with darkened souls who are fundamentally shallow individuals, who are cynical about the human experience, who believe that people are fundamentally beneath them. The reality is quite opposite. The real life is out here in real life, not in there, in the Elon Musk class of trillionaires, millionairianists. Okay, here's the reason why, if there's any danger coming from AI, it comes from humans, particularly Elon Musk and Peter Thiel and people like that. Nick Bostrom, include him. The Nobel Prize winner, Jeffrey Hinton, include him. These people are all in the pockets of the pockets. They're all in the pockets of the whether the system is the system of Das Kapital, or whether it's greed, or whether it's incest, or whether it's racism. It's something low, uncultivated. And hey, what a great opportunity if you work for Oxford like Bostrom, or you've got trillions of trillionarianisms and trilionarianism. And you've got Grok AI, Grok. Oh, Gestalt. Voila, Grok. Gestalt. If there's ever a catastrophe with AI, you can rest assured it will be man-made. That is, human-made, probably male-made, as in man-made catastrophe. Because there is no such thing as artificial intelligence, because intelligence is not artificial, and LLMs are artificial but not intelligent. You can come up with the arguments yourself. But here is the real knockdown argument for why AI fundamentally cannot be a threat. I mean, metaphysically, just cannot be a threat. It's the difference between living objectivity and projected objectivity. Living objectivity is continuous. It's associated with subjective individual experience. The continuity of the history of my life is X such and such number of years continuously. And so all of the axiomatics and theoremics that are lined up and scaffolded within my life, right? Historically, genealogically, it's all continuous. And every node, every nexus is a branching point, right? Of what? Analysis and synthesis. Every judgment is both analysis and synthesis. Breaking apart, coming back together again. Okay? You are one continuous monolithic block of yourself that is measured in chronological historical time. That is the day say subjective continuous self. Day say, D-E space, S-E, day of say, the self. Thoughts about the self, related to the self. The day say experience is this experience right here, indexically marked by me, myself, speaking as me, myself, Dimitri Fergatis, uttered by me, myself, etc., etc. Always has to be indexed by me, myself, right? Not because I'm an egomaniac, which I very well may be, right? Or must be, right? No, but because I, the indexical I, represents the continuity of the entire monolithic block that is your historical life. So far, so good? So that we can call absolute density continuous day say objectivity, aka your own subjective individuality, okay? All right. The objective world is, by contrast, so we have on the one hand continuous day say objectivity. On the other hand, we have projected discrete intersubjective objectivity. Again, projected discrete as in snapshot, projected discrete and framing, Gestell, get out your Heidegger. An abstract snapshot, an abstract representation, intersubjectively verified by the community, public discourse, life. We all buy into a small projection, which is an objective frame, read training model, at time t. It's got a timestamp on it. Because if the present king of France is bald, is a true statement. The present king of France is bald is true. Okay, when was that uttered? That was uttered at a timestamp. So what we classically understand as objective, right? Science, objective, right? I am recasting as intersubjective, discrete projection of objectivity. Intersubjective, discrete projection of objectivity. It is an abstract frame with a timestamp. That is associated with any possible training model. If you're thinking in terms of magnitude of knowledge, but it always has to be gestalt, grokked at the timestamp, and we call that the training model. So you use Chat GPT, version such and such, and that corresponds to whatever training model they had uploaded. You literally have a representation, a very small projected abstract intersubjective projection of objectivity. Okay? No matter how much knowledge you have, it will only ever be at time t. No matter how many data centers you build, if you're running one training model, you will only be running that particular training model. Discrete, time-stamped. It is an intersubjective, abstract projection of objectivity at a single time stamp in history. That's what it represents. But you yourself, you're not reducible to a timestamp. You've got the totality of continuous timestamps within you. You're a continuously running training model that's never been uploaded. It just continues to change. Constantly changing, constantly mutating, since you were born, continuously. All of that is axiomatics, theoremics, and it's all provable. It's all provable. Of course, subject to the Gödel statements and all that, but it's all formalizable. In other words, it's all formalizable and semantically perfectly coherent. Why? Because empirically it's your life. And it's all continuous. That, dear friends, cannot be uploaded to a training model. Because at the very outer preliminary or something preliminary limit, you're limited by time itself. Because if you're going to train a model to be smarter than me, who's 51 years old, you will have to start the training set now and continuously log from an indexically located position, an indexically located day save position. You would literally have to continuously take in all of that data for 51 years. But then, 51 years from now, I will be 102 years old. So I'll have another 51-year edge. The asymmetry is astonishing. There's simply no way to train any data set or set of data sets to model a world to compete with even one person's human cognition. So I take myself to have offered a fucking knockdown argument directed at Nick Bostrom, Jeffrey Hinton, Dario Amodei, Sam Altman, and Elon motherfucking Musk.